guys, welcome to Live Life with Love with me, Lisa. So I wanted to do this series because I feel like there's not enough love in the world, and I've been through a lot of things lately that I will discuss in a minute. That life needs love, and I am all about love, and hopefully if I added an opening song to this, which I may not, and this will look really stupid if I didn't, but my religion is love. My religion by choice is love. So I've been through a lot in the past couple of years. 4 years ago, my grandmother passed away, and I opened up about it almost 2 years ago. The depression it put me through, and the way I felt, and my saving grace, of course, was One Direction and OTPing Larry Stylinson. Now, I promise I won't get into Larry Stylinson too much. They're still my OTP. I still absolutely love Niall Horan. See, I actually need a new one because that looks like IV Niall Horan instead of I Heart. And of course I love One Direction. So I wanted to start this because there were all the hurricanes, Harvey, Irma, Maria, I can't remember the other ones. I think Juan was one of them. Anyway, and then there was the earthquakes in Mexico, and it was really, really rough. And I was like, well, I'm going to start this series on my mom's birthday, September 13th, which is, everybody also knows, is Niall's birthday. It's something that I've always thought was really cool. But I felt like people needed love and support, and that I wanted to get out there and give it because that's what I've always wanted to do. I have always loved people. I have always loved to see the good in people. I've always been about giving love to people. A couple of stories real quick. When we were 19, my sister came out to me as bi, and I was actually one of the last people in the family she came out to because she was afraid of what I would say. I was heavily into being a Nazarene Christian, and you know, most Christian churches don't agree with anything to do with people loving someone from the same gender. And yes, I will say at 18 I was very narrow-minded. I went through high school being very narrow-minded, but when I was 19 I was in Job Corps, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And my sister being afraid to come out to me as bi because she didn't know how to react, it really changed how I looked at things, because I love my sister no matter what. And you know, she's been happily married for 4 years. She just celebrated her 4-year anniversary this past week, so yay, happy anniversary, Care. I have talked about her being bi before, and I apologized for, you know, posting a video without talking to her about it first, where I mentioned it, and she said it's okay, I don't mind. So sorry, Care, again, I'm talking about it, but I am hoping you don't mind. Also, being a Larry fan, you know, a Larry believer, not fan, believer, you know, that is obviously not accepted in a Christian religion. About a month before my birthday, I decided to forgive my father for a lot of things, and apparently, like I thought, he had no idea I had a grudge, because I was polite to his face and I was nice when I was around him, but he hurt me in so many ways, and so many ways he didn't know. Like, being a pastor's daughter is really hard. when that man is someone who left my mom when I was 7 years old. He cheated on my mom and left with the pastor's daughter-in-law. And then as I grew out older and hit 18, 19, and was struggling in my religion, every time I met a new pastor in the Nazarene church, because my father became a pastor in my teens, I would ask them if they knew my father. And they're like, oh yeah, he's such a funny guy. I'm like, well, I'm his daughter. And they're like, oh, I didn't know he had another family. I'm like, another family? I'm like, I keep thinking to myself, I was the first family. Like, he doesn't talk about us. And that hurt. And the thing that hurt the most was when my sister went to ask my dad to officiate her wedding. Now, anyone else who followed my channel also knows that I have the best stepdad in the world. He is amazing and wonderful, and I love him with my entire heart. You know, my stepdad does anything I ask without question. He might complain, or give me heck, but he loves me, and I know that. And he treats me like I'm his daughter, and I wouldn't ask for a better dad than my stepdad. I love him to pieces. And he's been in my life since I was 7, shortly after my dad left. He came into my life. You know, as much as he's always been afraid of trying to take the place of my dad when I was growing up, I don't think I would have minded so much. But he was respectful, and he didn't try and take the place of my dad. And to this day, he is the most heartfelt man I've ever known. He would do anything for his family, and I'm sorry, I'm gushing about my wonderful stepdad, and as you guys know, I gush about my mom too. Anyway, me and my sister both thought it would be an amazing solution to the dilemma of the big wedding day. Who to choose, who to walk you down the aisle. Well, with our father being a pastor, we thought, we'll save a step. He can officiate the wedding. Our stepdad can walk us down the aisle. Both men that are important in our lives get to be a part of our wedding, you know? And, you know, as you can tell, my sister got married first, still the only one married. She and her fiance, or husband now, but fiance at the time, and her best friend and her boyfriend at the time, they're getting married actually, but went down. And my sister went in person to my dad to ask him to officiate the wedding, and he said no. This was something that just showed me how much my dad had grown away from our lives, and I think that was the moment that he realized it too. So he said no, and that outraged me to the point where I wanted nothing to do with my father. I was like, my father will be lucky if he gets an Evite to my wedding. And I've been trying to forgive him. I listen to a Christian radio station when I'm down and try to find my way, and long story short, I decided to forgive my dad. And I told him, I forgive you. It was one of the hardest things that I ever said. And another thing that prompted me to do it was he's been texting me for a year, just randomly, I love you, how are you? And I'm like, why is he texting me? I was perfectly happy with one call on my birthday. And not that I ever called him on his birthday, even though I know when his birthday is. That was good enough for me. I was done trying. I was worried when he started texting me that there was something wrong. Because in my head, my dad wouldn't contact me unless something was wrong. Just to randomly say he loves me. So he still texts me. He loves me. I'm still having a hard time talking to him, but I forgave him. And that was hard for me. Another thing that I did with that was I decided to go back to church. Go back to the church that I grew up in that was home. And what happened was I got out of work Sunday morning and I pulled over on the side of the road and I was writing this amazing testimony. And I was going to stand up and say it when they did Popcorn Praises. I want to say most of you here have known me since I was a little girl. You've watched me grow into a good person with a good heart. But sometimes most of you didn't know that I struggled and craved for a connection with God that I felt a lot of older people had. But after my grams passed away, I became numb and tried to rely on faith. Eventually, that numbness became bitterness and anger towards God. How could He take her, my best friend, the person who understood me the most? I began to hate Him and think He was cruel. And every time I went to church and met a new pastor, I would ask about my dad. And they would always say he was a funny guy, a good guy. But they were always surprised to know that he had another family. This hurt more, so I stopped trying. About 2 years ago, I came across a Christian radio station, and it made me want to strive again, to be a better person. But I didn't want to listen to it often, and my anger was still there. I have struggled with my relationship with Him, or even wanting to have one. Then one day, I was passing the church, and I saw a message, "He will not fail you." And for a week, every time I saw it, I said, "Yes, He did." And then I started to say, "But I failed Him." Which turned into, I messed up so much, I failed so many times. Yet despite how long it's been, all of you still reach out. You still ask me how I am. You still invite me to church, but never pushed. And you gave me the space I needed. So, I spent more time with my Christian station, my portable church. And the other day I let it all go. I had been holding on to so much for so long, and I didn't even realize it. I finally told my dad I forgive him for everything that he had done and everything that I had held against him. I realized that he didn't even know I had a grudge, and this whole time I've been holding on to something that didn't matter. So I want to try again. I want to be the daughter both my dad and God deserve. I want to be better, and I know the only way to do that is faith and support. So I want to thank you all for being there for me, and I know you always will. And God has a plan for me. I'm done trying to figure it out. I know everything happens for a reason, and we may not know it yet. I may not know His plan, but I do know that He won't let me fall. If I stay with Him, I'm free. And I still believe a lot of that, but I got to the church about 9:48. I climbed out of my car and I went to walk to the door. I knew church Sunday school didn't start till 10, so I figured I'd have a few minutes to say hi and surprise everybody. But as you walk in the front door of my childhood church, there's a staircase going up and a staircase going down. Downstairs is where we had potlucks and Sunday school for the younger kids, and upstairs was I keep forgetting what it's called. Sanctuary, with all the pews and the podium and the altar. And I love that church and I love the setup of it. And again, it was my childhood second home. But as I quietly opened the outside door and I quietly shut it behind me to be a surprise, because I know everybody had been wanting me to come, I heard them talking upstairs, because the upstairs doors were open. And they were saying that some people believe the Bible says that it's okay to be gay, when other people see it that it's not. How could it be? And then I heard the classic, "It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve." And it was that moment that I realized how narrow-minded I had been growing up. And I couldn't couldn't make myself go up those stairs. I mean, I could have gone up those stairs and defended the fact that we were Christians. We were to love people, not based on anything, just to love them. And if that is what they believe, we didn't have to be that, but we needed to be there to love them. God says love everybody. And they say love is blind, but so is hate. And that church, unknowingly, blindly, didn't even know they were doing it, hated gays. It's not right. It's not okay. How could I be a part of a church that felt that way when I myself had a bi sister, and the one couple I root for most in the world is gay? I very quietly left. And unfortunately, there is so much hate in this world right now. So much hate. If my little segments here can encourage people to love and to spread love, I have a job for you that watch this video. I want you to do one thing a day. One good thing a day. Okay? Open a door for somebody. Hug someone you haven't hugged in a while. Call that one friend that you've let go just because you got too busy. Spend time with a stranger. Finally volunteer at something. Open the door for someone, for crying out loud. Be a gentleman or be a nice person if you're a woman. But do one thing nice a day. And think positive. Because the power of positive thinking and good thoughts is more amazing than anything. And right now, my thoughts are with all those people that have suffered from natural disasters, as well as those that have suffered and were affected by what happened in Nevada. This whole thing with Nevada, my stepdad doesn't want me to go see Niall Horan on November 3rd in Boston. And it kills me that I am doing something that he doesn't want me to do. But I have been dying to see Niall Horan in concert for 2 years, and I feel like I need to go. This is something I need to do for me. And he doesn't want me to go because he's scared something will happen. He doesn't. Hate is so easy. Love is hard. And that is why I am trying to do this series, to help promote love. And it is so easy for hate because I've been trying to do this segment since the middle of September. And every time I turn around, there's more hate, there's more events, more things that hate is winning. And people have forgotten love. And I want to do my part to help people remember love and share love. So again, I ask you, do one good thing. Because it is through love that we can make this world a better place. Stop being judgmental. Stop with the hate. Just spread love. That's all. My new religion, as I guess it's been my religion for a long time, is love. You know, always has been. Why not make it yours? So, from my heart to yours, lots of love. And thank you so much for bearing with me on this incredibly long segment, and I hope you guys stick with me from here.